This was, to give some context here, we're based here in Massachusetts, a little bit outside of Boston. This is considered one of the best days in Boston. It's Marathon Monday. The Red Sox play an early game. I've been in Boston on Marathon Monday, on Patriots Day before, which is a state holiday here. This really does hit close. I mean, I had dinner a block from where this happened a month or so ago, literally a block from where this happened. It's an area where and you always hear this, you should always be thinking that any place is a target. But when you walk around there, you just don't think that this is going to be a place where this type of thing happens. And clearly that was a wrong assumption.
Right. It's just common sense that if you want to inflict injuries on people, you do it where people congregate.
Right.
And I mean, when you do it on a day like this in a location like this, you really want to disturb people and make them afraid, because otherwise you could have just done it at a busy terminal somewhere or an airport. But this, I think adds extra insult to injury.
There were Sandy Hook parents in the stands. The marathon, because there are 26.2 miles in a marathon, was connected 1 mile per victim of the Sandy Hook shooting. And there were parents of victims in the stands who are all safe, we've heard. But imagine you're already proverbially shell-shocked from what happened just months ago, and then literally you're where there's an explosion. It's just incredible. And, it's easy to feel like we're kind of helpless, right? I mean, we had extra security at the Boston Marathon. There were bomb-sniffing dogs, 400 National Guard, law enforcement agencies, all there working together. And this still happened, right? So I understand this feeling of helplessness. But I think it's really important in these situations to have, you have to be determined to get justice, and you are empathetic with the victims, but you can't be so scared that you stay home. And, I started thinking about this. I started saying, I'm in Boston all the time. Hey, I'm in New York pretty frequently, and I really just don't think day to day of this type of thing. But am I now going to be afraid every time I get on the T in Boston or on the subway in New York? And you just have to remember that statistically speaking, fortunately, right now, these things are still rare. You're not going to, in all likelihood, ever come across something like this. And the goal of these types of things, whoever it turns out to be that was the perpetrator or perpetrators, the goal is to make you afraid and to get you to stay home. And do you guys agree? Do you agree, Natan, that that's the exact thing that should not be done?
That's right. And it is true that it's unlikely that it'll happen to any one person in the country. But at the same time, what strikes fear into people in the same way that the Sandy Hook shootings and any mass shooting or terrorist attack strikes fear is that you don't know when it's going to hit. There's no way to prevent it. So,
right,
like you're saying, the only way to really be sure, if there can be a certainty, that you're not going to be a victim is to just not go anywhere. And you obviously can't do that.
Even then, there's no guarantee.
And even then, there is no guarantee.